Beloved, welcome back to the shop. Behind me are the 10 things that you need to have in your house. And if you don't have them in your house and you're a family man or you're a husband and you haven't made these preparations, then you are derelict in your duty. Today we're gonna cut through all of the BS of all of the prepping nonsense and all of the pie in the sky fantasy things that guys think that they need to survive a real world scenario and get down to brass tacks. Two things are happening in this country right now. We just had a major catastrophe on the East Coast. There are families that are suffering tremendously, that are going without the essentials and dying. Do you want to be in that position? I know you were raised to believe that the government is going to come and save you and help you, but I tell you that more and more the responsibility for saving your own skin and your family is going to fall on you. And these are the 10 things that you absolutely have to have, the bare minimum. Combine that with what's looming with the strikes on the longshoremen and the potential for the stores and shelves to be empty. The days of you going and using the grocery store or Home Depot or Costco as your pantry are coming to an end. This needs to happen right now. Let's get into it. We're going to start with the number one, absolutely essential, and that is going to be taking care of your water supply. What is becoming painfully obvious right now to the folks struggling in North Carolina, Florida, trying to get through this hurricane is they are dying of thirst, literally. There is such a need. There is a need for hundreds of thousands of cases of bottled water for these families. Everything that they have has been contaminated, or even if they did prep, it's washed away. Here's the minimum. Do you see these 6 cans right here? This is enough water for your family of 4 for no more than 8 days. If you push it, maybe 10, but you're going to go without. This is essentially a week's worth of water. That's not going to last you very long. So how do you supplement that? Well, after you have 6 cans, these are 22 liters each. That's what the minimum would be. My suggestion for a family of 4, you've got to get one of these. It doesn't matter the brand, Berkey, Aqua Rain, Alexa Pure, they're all essentially the same things. This is a gravity water filter system that doesn't require any water. Inside are 4 very high quality charcoal canister filters. You put the water in here, whatever source you can, even if it's contaminated, and it will gravity feed out the bottom and be safe to drink. This is an essential piece of equipment right here. With the water filter and the 6 jerry cans, you can essentially reload them. So 1 week can turn into 2, which can turn into a month. But this is the number one thing. If you haven't started or you don't know where to start, the number one thing is 6 good food grade water cans and a gravity feed filter of high quality one, just like this. That's number one. Number 2 is going to be your food. With your water sorted, the best or the easiest turnkey solution is going to be prepackaged freeze-dried food. Now, if you want to go to Costco and put together your own list, that of course is the best. But if you don't have time for it and you just want the quick and dirty, this is what you want. A 3-month supply. Whatever manufacturer you go with Mountain House, whatever, you get your own freeze dryer. But if you want a turnkey solution, 6 of these buckets right here, that's 3 months of food for one person. So when you cut that in half, that's a month and a half, and if you're sharing this over 4, you do the math. But this is the minimum. 6 buckets, a 3-month supply of food, and expand that for your family and act accordingly. It's going to be not the best tasting, not the best meal you've ever had, but it will keep for 25 years. You'll have it on hand. It stores pretty easy. The long shelf life and just the convenience of it and the fact that it's just one and done is very appealing to a lot of people. So whatever you buy, I don't care about the brand, do your research, but do your water, your storage, your filters, and then you're going to go with 3-month supply of food. After that, we're going to see to medical. What I'm sharing with you is not something I'm shilling. It's what I use personally. You can go do your own research if you have the time, if you want to do it, or if you want to know something that's good, the guy's already thought about, you can go with this and you would be in good case. Refuge Medical. Refuge Medical offers this big 5-gallon bucket with a whole bunch of stuff in it. You're not going to get this at REI. You're not going to get this at retail stores. This is put together by guys who know good companies. I know them personally, And this is an essential kit right here. This is going to extend your ability to treat people outside of your own family. For your own family, you're going to get a good, proper first aid kit. It's going to have medicines in it. You're going to have splints. You're going to have something, and this is also your trauma kits, all of the things that you need, your first aids, your bandages, something of good quality. And I recommend Refuge Medical. Put together, I'll put links to all this stuff in the description. Get these 2 kits right here. Start with this black one. If you can't afford, if you don't have the resources, or you just really got to focus on your own, get this right here. It's grab and go. You can take it with you. It's going to have the things you need to deal with life-saving emergencies. This right here, the big bucket, this is the wound care bucket. This is going to extend your capabilities immensely. And for what they charge for it, it's a tremendous value. If you've got family members that need insulin, you've got children with peanut allergies, have a duplicate copy of whatever those things that you need, the things that keep your family alive, have backups in here. Do not count on the grocery store. Do not count on the pharmacy. Have everything you need. Supplement this kit in addition to your own personal needs. Fuel. How much do you need? 20 gallons per vehicle. If you're going to have to choose between what vehicle you're going to have fuel for, pick the one that's most capable. The one that's going to be all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, that has the best capabilities. If it's a truck, full size, 30 gallons. Every vehicle, 20 gallons. That means 4 of these per vehicle. Red for gas, yellow for diesel. How long will fuel last? About a year. If you keep it, you buy non-ethanol, and you keep it in a cool, dry place, keep it on the northern aspect of your shop. That way it's away from the sunshine and heat. It will extend its life a little bit. You can also put additives, stabilizers that will help as well. But this is a minimum for your vehicles. 20 per vehicle, 30 for a truck. An additional 5 gallons a week minimum for small generators. If you have a big one, I would consider that to be just like a truck as well. So 20 for that as well. But that's a rule of thumb. Kerosene, 5 gallons. Kerosene will store a long time. It can be used for cooking and lighting, and it's an essential piece of equipment or essential item to have. This is what I would recommend. 20 per vehicle and 5 gallons of kerosene. Number 5, you need 40 pounds of propane. What's that look like? Each one of these bottles here is 100 pounds of propane. So what that means to you is the bottles that you have for your gas grill, 2 of them full. That can be used for heating, that can be used for cooking, it can be used to run your lanterns. Have the appropriate adapters as well to adapt them to any camp stoves or lanterns or anything that you might use it for. Propane's very nice because it stores indefinitely. It really never goes bad. The downside is it takes special equipment and power to fill it, so you're not likely going to be able to refill it. But for you, for an emergency, 40 pounds, 2 20-pound bottles would be a good place to start. Batteries and a reliable light source. Start with AA's. AA's are the gold standard. It's going to run most things. Lithium, if you can afford it, they last longer, but they don't work as well in a cold climate. Regular alkaline batteries are just fine. Have AA's enough to power, and make sure that you have equipment, batteries, or radios, lights that use this sort of battery. A lot of equipment, headlamps and things that you have are going to require AA's as well. D's and C's are less common. They're really not used that much anymore. If you have a need for them, get them, but start with this. Have 100 batteries of each, AAA, AA, and CR123s if you're a tactical type of guy and you're running surefire lights or weapon lights. A lot of us rely upon that. I know my EDC lights require the CR123 batteries. Have those on hand. This is the flashlight I recommend. As a former firefighter, we lived and died by the Streamlight Survivor series. They're made by Streamlight, they're made in the US. There's nothing tougher in this whole world. Even firefighters can't break them. They have a piercing beam that penetrates. It's a good spotlight for long distance. Not great for flood, but if you need to see a distance for search and rescue or really pierce through smoke or looking for things, especially at night, these are a great option. They can sit on the ground, they're robust, they'll always work no matter what, and they require the AA batteries. They have extremely long run times. These clamshells come apart, I never can remember how, to reveal 4 AA batteries. Excellent, excellent lights. I've never been able to break one, rarely have I seen any broken. They're affordable and USA made. Get a pair of these. Get a pair of these. We'll call this number 9. Matches, in particular, these ones. Storm-proof matches. These are waterproof. They will light in any environment. Do you think North Carolina, your house in North Carolina gets flooded and you have regular cheap diamond matches? Do you think that's going to be of any value to you? None whatsoever. These can be relied upon. Have a couple of cases of these. They're really essential. Put them in a good case like this. These are absolutely the best, the storm-proof matches. Big and robust. You can see how much lighter sulfur material is on there. They're very easy to start a fire with, and they're 100% reliable, and they're very, very good. Candles. 4 cases, whatever you choose, good 4 cases of long burning candles. I really am a fan of these UCO lanterns. You can put 3 candles in there. That doesn't mean you need to burn them all at one time. I would recommend just burning 1 at a time instead of 3. It's going to last you a long time. You load this up with 3 and it will burn and run a long time. Make sure you have 4 boxes of the replacements. These can be used outside the lantern for cooking, for light sources, a lot of different things. But have a pair of these lanterns. Make sure everything that you do is in duplicate. 1 is none. One of these breaks or goes down and you lose it, you have nothing. Same goes for your flashlight. Have 2. You know, I'll make an exception with the water filter because they're kind of expensive, but you want to have backups for everything. 4 cases of candles, 2 UCO lanterns, and you're good. This here is roughly a cord of firewood. A cord of firewood measures, if you stack it tightly, 4 foot high, 4 foot deep, and 8 feet long. That will sustain and heat and cook for a family for about 1 month, depending on the climate. That right there is what wealth looks like. This right here is more valuable than the currency that we've always counted on, because that's devaluing quickly. This is life, this is food, this is energy independence right here. If you don't have a wood stove, go on Facebook Marketplace, buy an old wood stove. I don't care if it's not EPA compliant. Of course, I would never tell you to break the rules. Even if you don't install it, have the chimney, have the stove on hand. So in an emergency, you can knock a hole in your house, you can put a chimney out, you can do whatever you need to do to heat your family. We've seen Texas just a couple years ago suffered terribly and was crying out for firewood, freezing to death because they hadn't made the preparations. 1 cord of firewood will heat and take care of your family for a month. Have it on hand, have it dry, have it ready to go. It is worth more than gold in a crisis. Gentlemen, I cannot stress the importance of having some basic preparations in place for whatever it is that's going to happen. This is not doom and gloom. This is not scare tactics. This is just good common sense. And when you find yourself in need, this video and my words will be ringing very loudly in your ears, and then it will be too late to do it. Put these things together now. Move heaven and earth until you can do whatever you have to do to put this in place. As a husband, you have a responsibility to look after your own. God will judge those men that don't look after their own and prep. There are too many people, especially Christians, are really at fault for this, thinking that, oh, the Lord will provide. And yes, the Lord will provide, but He also asks you to partner with Him in the preparation. Do we not have the story of Noah, who had to build the ark, had to work with God to save his family? Do we not have the story of Joseph, how he saved all of the Egyptians and all the children of Israel through the 7 years of famine? Why? How? They went, they stored up, they prepped, they used their sense. They knew troubles were coming, they knew that they might be in need, and they did whatever they had to do to put these things in place, and this is what you need to do. If this video is popular, if people enjoy it and I get good feedback, I will do the next 10. Once you have these in place, and this will be no nonsense. This isn't pie in the sky, this isn't prepper fantasy, this is real world, real life from lessons that we've learned in blood. Put this stuff together. May God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you all on the next video.